Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Mumble German Through the Fog, and it's by Megan33. And here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill the entire grid with the digits 1 through 9 without repeats, in any row, column, or box. The grid is partially covered with fog. Correctly placed digits will clear the fog around that cell. No guessing is required. So for example, if we placed a correct digit here, it would clear the fog in that cell and in the 8 surrounding cells around it. And that's how fog of war works. There is one and only one green German whisper line, along which adjacent digits must have a difference of at least 5. So this is the German whisper line, and it somehow, through this fog, connects back here. So what does that mean? That just means that there is one German whisper line which will eventually get back here. Also, say this was a 3. This would have to be an 8 or a 9 to make sure that, because those are the only digits that are 5 or more away from 3. So there's that aspect. And that's how German whisper lines work. We also have a black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. A white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values, and not all dots are given. So these are called Kropke dots. As an example, say we assume that was a black dot, and say this we assume this was a white dot here. Therefore, if this were a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 to maintain the 1-to-2 ratio between the black cells connected by a black dot. If this were 6, this would have to be 5 or 7 to make sure that these digits are consecutive with each other. And that's how Kropke dots work. We also have digits in a cage do not repeat and sum to the clue in the top left. So, ignoring other clues here, you could have something like 2, 4, and 6 here, and that would work because these 3 digits add up to 12, and they don't repeat. And these are called killer cages. And that's an example of how killer cages work. And then finally, we have adjacent cells connected with an X must sum to 10. Adjacent cells connected with a V must sum to 5. So, for example, if this were 3, this would have to be 7, and this would have to be 2. Because these digits add up to 5. These digits add up to 10. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, so what are the possibilities here? Well, these 2 digits add up to 5, so they all have to be low digits, right? There have to be the digits 1 through 4. So it's either 1, 4 or 2, 3 adding up. Now, on a German whisper line, we know that adjacent digits on a German whisper line have to swap sets. And by sets, I'm saying low or high digits. So take a low digit, which we classify as 1 through 4. What are the digits that can be next to it on a German whisper line? Well, 4 can only be next to 9, because that's the only digit that's 5 or more away. 3 can only be next to 8 and 9. 2 can only be next to 7, 8, and 9. And 1 can only be next to 6 through 9. So therefore, any digit it's next to a 1 through 4 has to be a high digit, which we consider 6 through 9. Now take the high digits, 6 through 9. What digits can be next to that on a German whisper line? Well, 6 can only be next to 1, 7 can be next to 1 or 2, 8 can be next to 1 through 3, and 9 can only be next to 1 through 4, which is all low digits. So therefore, you know on a German whisper line, you'll always alternate between low digits and high digits. Therefore, since this is low, these two cells must be high. This cell must be high because it's next to a low digit, and this must be a low because it's next to a high digit. Therefore, these two digits are low, this digit is low, and this is high. Well, what are the possible combinations that add up to 12? If this were 9, it would have to be 1 and 2 here. But then this cannot add up to 10 here because the 1-2 pair would eliminate 1 and 2 from being there. So this cannot be 9. If this is 8, that works if this is 1 and 3, and therefore this is 2. So this would be 2, 3, and 1 here. That works. If this is 7, that can only add up with 2 and 3. But 2 and 3 can never be 5 or more away from 7. So that doesn't work for 7. And therefore 6 also doesn't work because 6 also can only be next to one unique digit on a German whisper line. And this is next to 2 digits. So this has to be 1, 8, 3, and 2 here. So this is 1, this is 8, this is 3, this is 2. This 3 can only be next to 8 and 9 on a German whisper line. Therefore this is a 9. This 2 can only be next to 7, 8, 9 on a German whisper line, and 8 and 9 are already taken in the box, so this is 7. This must be a low, which makes this a high. This is then 2 or 4, because it can't be 1 or 3. This is a low here, so this is 1 or 2, because it's next to 7 on a German whisper line. This is in a 1 to 2. Okay, these digits have to be 5, 6, or 4, 5, or 6 here. So this is 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, and 6 is only consecutive with 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. This has to be at least 3 digits adding up to 10. So, okay, these 2 digits are consecutive. So 2 and 4 is only consecutive with 3 or 5 here. So this is 3 or 5. 3 or 5 is only consecutive with 4 or 6 here. So this is 4 or 6. If this is 2 and... say this was... okay. If this is 4 and 3, this cage would have to include 2 and 1. And this cell can never be part of the cage. If this is 2 and 4, this can't be 8. This could be 7 or 9 here. If this is 2 and 3, this would be 5. That's possible. If this is 4 and 5, this would have to be 1, which is not possible because of the 1 in the column. Therefore, this can't be 5. This could be 4 and 3, and then this would be 2 and 1 here. But that can't be possible either. But this is then 3. This is 3. This has to be 4. This is 3 digits that add up to 10. So it can't be 3, 4, 3. Therefore, this is 2. This is 5. These cannot be 4. These 2 digits add up to 10. It cannot be 2 and 8 or 3 and 7. It can't be 1 or 9 because this 1 and 9 eliminates 1 and 9 from this being a cell. And if this is 1 or 9, this would have to have a 1 or 9 too. So this has to be 4 and 6 specifically. So this is 4, this is 6. This is a low digit, this is a high, this is a low. This must be high here. This also must be high because it adds up with a low digit, and the only digits that add up to 10 are a low and a high digit. So this is a low digit. It cannot be 2, 3, or 4, so this is 1. This has to be 6. It can't be 6. This has to be 7 or 9. This 7 or 9 is only consecutive with 6 or 8, but 6 is already in the box, therefore this is 8. This has to be 7 or 9 also. That's the only remaining digits in the box, but this can't be 7 here, so this must be 9, which makes that a 7, which makes this a 9. These are consecutive digits, so the only digits remaining are 2, 3, and 4. So, and this cannot be 3 here, because this is either 2, 3 consecutive or 3, 4. 2 and 4 are not consecutive. So this is 2 or 4, which means this is 6 or 8 here. This has to be a high digit, and so it must be 7, 8, or 9 next to a 2 or 4. This has to be a high digit, and it cannot be 7. It could be 6, 8, or 9 here. We have one cell which is in a 1 to 2 ratio with two other unique digits. The only possibilities there then are 2 and 4. If this is 2, this cannot be 1 because of this 1. So this would have to be 1, and that's 4. If this is 4, this can't be 8 because of this 8, so this would have to be 2 and 8 here. Well, this can't be 4 because of that 4, so this must be 8, which makes this a 4, which makes that a 2. This 8 eliminates 8 here, so this is 6, this is 4. 4 can only be next to a 9 on a German whisper line, so this is a 9. These can't be 4 here. This is a low, which makes this a high, which makes this low. This is high. This is low. We don't know where this goes. Let's mark all these highs. This is a low. These are lows here. The rest of these digits have to be high because we already have 4 lows in column 1. So this is 6, 7, or 8. These are both low. This must be a 1, 5 pair here. So this is 1 or 5. This has to be 6, 7, or 8, but this can't be 6 here because of that 6. This is a high. These are lows. These two digits add up to 8 because we have a 2 here, and this total adds up to 10. So it's either 1, 7, this is 1, this is 7, or it's 3, 5. We don't know which. This has to be 7 or 8 here. This digit is next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. So it cannot, and it can't be 4 anyways. So this is 1, 2, or 3 here. This is next to a 7 or 8, so this is 1, 2, or 3. This has to be 7 or 9 to be a high digit. This is also 1, 2, or 3 because we cannot have a 4 here. This is in a 1 to 2 ratio. It cannot be 1, 2, it cannot be 4, 8. So it's either 2, 4 if this is 2 and this is 4. It could be 3, 6 as long as this is 3 and this is 6. Well, this is always a low. And we have a 1, 2, 3 triplet actually in column 4, which eliminates 1, 2, and 3 in the rest of the column. That leaves 5 and 7 remaining. This can't be 7 because of this 7, so this is 5, which makes this a 7. This can no longer be 1, 2, and 7 adding up to 10, so it's 3, 5, 2 adding up to 10. Therefore, this can't be 2 or 3, so this is a 1. This can't be 1. We now have a 2, 3 pair in column 4, which eliminates 2 and 3 in the rest of the column. This can't be 2. This is a 1. This is low. We don't know what that is. This is low. It probably goes this way, but we don't know. We're not guaranteed that. This 7 means this can't be 7, so this is 9. This has to be a 1, 6 pair. If this were 6, this would be between 2 unique digits on a German whispered line, so this can't be 6. This must be 1, which makes this a 6. This is low, this is high. Yep, as I said, it doesn't necessarily have to go that way. So this is high, this is low, this is low. So this is 1, it's next to a 6, that means this has to be 1. So this is 1, this cannot be 1. This has to be 7 or 8. This is 2 or 3 next to it. This is a high, this must be low. This also must be high, and it has to be a 9 then. That's the only digit remaining that's high. This has to be a 3 because that's the only digit remaining. This has to be a low. It cannot be 1, 3, or 4, so this is 2. Oops. This is a 2, which makes this a high. This is a low. This has to be high, so this is 2 or 3. So this digit must be next to a 2 and a 3. So this is 8 or 9, but it can't be 9, so this must be 8, which makes this a 7. This can't be 8, so this must be can't be 6 or 9. This must be 7, which makes this be a 2 because 3 cannot be next to a 7 on a German whisper line. So this is 2, this is 3. This 7 eliminates 7 here, so this is 8. These can't be 7 or 8, so this is 6, which makes that a 7. This last digit is a 5. This is a high. And 7, this cannot be, this is next to 2 unique digits on the German whisper line, so it can't be 6, it can't be 7 or 9. This has to be 8. 8 has to be next to 2 or 3. We have 4 low digits on the German whisper line. This can't be 5, so this must be a high digit. This could be 5 or a high digit. So this is 6, 8, or 9 here. This can't be 9 because of this 9. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8. But it can't be 7 because of this 7. Where is the 7 in row 3? Can't be here because of this 7. Can't be here because of that 7. Can't be here because of that 7. So it must be here. So this is 7. The only digit out of 2 and 3 that can be next to 7 on a German whisper line is 2. So this is 2. This is 3. This is high. This is low. This is high. And this is low, obviously. Well, this digit is next to 2 unique digits on the German whisper line, so it cannot be 4, it can't be 2 or 3, this must be 1, which forces this to be 4, which makes this a 9 and this a 9, because 4 can only be next to 9 on a German whisper line. This can't be 4 anymore, this must be 6, which makes this a 3 to be 1 to 2 ratio. This means this is 5, this is 6, this is 8, this has to be a 5. This 3 eliminates 3 here, so this is 2, which makes that 3, which makes that a 2. And the rest we're probably doing Sudoku. So this is a 2, because that's the only digit remaining in box 2. Actually, let's go this way. Where is the, where is the 2? We actually have 9 2s, never mind. This 3 means this can't be 3, so this is 5, which makes that a 3. This is a high digit. It has to be next to 3. So, and it cannot be 9, so this must be 8, which makes this a 6. The remaining digits here are 4 and 7 in row 1. This can't be 7 because of this 7, so this is 4, this is 7. Remaining digits in row 4 are 4 and 6. This can't be 4 because of that 4, so this is 6, this is 4. Remaining digits in row 6 are 5 and 7. This can't be 7 because of that 7, so this is 5. This is 7. Last remaining digit in column 7 is a 5. Last 2 digits in column 9 are 1 and 9. This can't be 9 because of this 9, so this is 1, this is 9. That 1 eliminates this 1, so that's a 5 and a 1. This last digit is a 4, because that's the only digit remaining in column 5, and we have 3 and 8 here. This can't be 8 because of this 8, so this is 3, this is 8. That leaves this as a 4 and this as a 6. And that's how you solve this puzzle. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Nice exploration of German whisper line rule sets. And I'm not sure why it's called Mumble German. Maybe it's just I don't know. Something, obviously it's relating to the German whisper line, but I don't know where the mumbling is anyways. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.